There is no technique, only intensity. All technique means what? Indirectly I will be telling the same thing, abhyasa. Now if people come and ask me how to keep the intensity, Swamiji, give us some technique. If I give them some technique, Swamiji, how to do this technique? Please give us some intensity. Then I have to give some more technique. Then they say, no, Swamiji, please teach us how to do the technique properly. Give us some technique. Understand, intensity and abhyasa is the one and only technique. All other techniques are different versions of this abhyasa word, that's all. Many times, when people ask me the questions, see, any answer will create only more questions. So I never answer them. I just divert their attention. They feel, oh, see, intelligent answer Swamiji gave. Only I know I just diverted them from the question, that's all. People ask me, Swamiji, what is worry? I tell them, constant inner chattering. What is inner chattering? I tell them, worry. They think they have the answer now. Nothing but adding few more words to their question. They feel they are attended, that's all. And honestly, nobody is bothered about the question answer and all. They want to know that when they put a question, two reasons. One, they want to tell you that they know something. Or they want your attention. Or they want to check whether you know or not. And when you attend them, things are over. That's all. The other day, one guy came to me and asked, Swamiji, I want to achieve God, give me some technique. I told him, I did not answer directly. I asked him, you are from where? How many kids you have? What is your profession? After that, 4 hours he was with me, chatting, talking, so many things. He did not even remember once this question again, second time. No, he did not remember. Means understand the intensity of the question. Many times our questions are like this only. Many times our questions are like this only. All the answers, all the techniques are different versions of this one truth, abhyasaha. What makes you to get established in the higher state of consciousness and that conflict-free mood, joy and ecstasy? Do that again and again. Come back to that state of consciousness through all possible ways and methods again and again and again. That's all is essence of abhyasa. Here, the Patanjali says, Tatra stitau yadno bhyasaha. The effort to remain constantly in that elevated state of awareness is abhyasa. Again and again and again, elevate yourself. Elevate yourself. Raise yourself. Bring yourself back to that center. Many times you can see, when you read a spiritual literatures, very strong books, you feel, I should live this. I have decided. That elevated mood, the strength, courage. When you listen to this kind of discourses, at least next 2 days, I should live. I should live. That strength. Again and again, bring yourself back to that strength by doing the actions which brings you, which helps you to come back to this state. If listening to the discourses does that job, do it. If reading the books does that job, do it. If mixing with the Sangha does that job, do it. Or meditating does that job, do it. That is what Patanjali calls abhyasaha. Till it gets drilled inside your body, till all the negative abhyasas are broken, let it be drilled inside your body. As I was telling yesterday, if you are seeing the world, you are not seeing the God. If you are seeing the God, you are not seeing the world. As long as you see the world which creates fear and greed inside you, you need abhyasa. Come back, come back, come back, unclutch, 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 again and again and again and again. Till you can't unclutch, unclutch. There will be one point, the unclutcher will disappear in unclutching. Till then, unclutch. Unclutcher will disappear into unclutching. Till then, unclutch. That is the only way. That is the only truth. Nothing else. There is no other word. There is no compromising. This is the truth. This is the way. This is the life. Whatever makes you to live in that elevated state of consciousness, come back. Get back to that by doing it. Live that. Radiate that. There is no other way. There is no other solution. There is no other life. You may feel that I am repeating the same truth again and again and again, because truth has to be repeated till you listen. It is challenge between you and me. No, not even you and me, your unconsciousness and me. It is not fight between your conscious and me. It is fight between your unconscious and me. Your conscious actually wants to be around me. It feels connected. But unconscious, that negative abhyasa creates all apprehensions. It's a big game between me and your negative abhyasa. Till it gets drilled into your body, I have to play this game. I have to play this game. The idea, the spiritual seeking, the spiritual intensity, living conflict-free life, living as Jivan Mukta, till this idea gets into your body. See, gets into your body means, if you don't eat, how you feel hungry. Same way, if you move out of that Jivan Mukti state, living enlightenment state, your body will feel, come back. It should become that physical. Till then, you need abhyasa. Till then, I'll continue to be with you. I have to continue to be with you. Playing the game through my presence or my absence. Through my presence or my absence. Sometimes, people come and ask me, Swamiji, bless me that you will not leave me even if I leave you. No, all kinds of things they ask me. No, really. Understand, at some time you would have prayed like that. Sometime, even if people wanted to go, I send message, maybe directly or indirectly. Have little patience, try to be around. It will do many good things inside you. Means that person would have prayed at some part of the life, maybe in this Janma or some earlier Janma, that even if I wanted to leave you, please don't leave me. Hold on to me. That intensity, that prayer is what I answer when I extend my hand. When I tell them, relax, be around the Sangha. It will do big job inside you. It will do big job. It will just, I can say, it's a conscious cyclone. Whatever you think as a big problem, it will all just disappear. You will see you are fresh, alive. Your whole life is new in front of you. You have the guts, courage, energy, completely fresh being to live. You are ready for a Jivan Mukta life. This state, it should get inside your unconscious and it should become part of your very body. Till then, you need abhyasa. Till then, you need abhyasa. Abhyasa means again and again and again. Bring yourself to that unclutching state. Unclutch and be in that Jivan Mukti state. If you have fallen, again unclutch, be in that Jivan Mukti state. I always tell people this bangle, all these things are just for this abhyasa only, this mala, bangle, all these things are for abhyasa only. So that constantly you are reminded, whenever you see that bangle, whenever you see that kapu, you will be reminded, come back, come back. Understand, this is for abhyasa. This is for abhyasa. If you are wearing that mala, remember, this body is supposed to live Jivan Mukti. If you are wearing that bracelet, remember, constantly you have to come back to that unclutched state. If you are wearing that bracelet with Nityanandam, means you have taken a vow, you will live in Nityananda, eternal bliss. It's not for fashion, one more ornament. Constantly reminding you. All these things will constantly remind you to be in abhyasa. To be in abhyasa. Understand? Abhyasa is the practice. Abhyasa is the truth you need to carry even after enlightenment. Even after enlightenment. Because after enlightenment, abhyasa will be your breathing. Your very inhaling and exhaling will be abhyasa. But it will be abhyasa. It will be practice. It will be practice. After enlightenment, you don't need to do. The abhyasa will happen by itself. Till abhyasa happens by itself, do it. Do it till it happens. I have taken too much time to explain this one concept, then understand the importance of this one truth. The importance of this one truth. Whatever may be your problem, this is the one solution. Master key. Abhyasaha. Tatra stitau yatno bhyasaha. The effort to remain constantly in that elevated state of awareness is abhyasa. So, be in that intelligence, be in that awareness. See, many times when we slip out of that awareness, you don't even know what you are doing. You are completely confused. You are completely confused. You don't know what you are doing. So come back to that abhyasa center. Otherwise, you just create chaos and you don't even know that you are creating chaos. One story for you. It's a news about an accident. Alabama's worst air disaster occurred early this morning when a small two-seater Cessna plane crashed into a cemetery. Search and rescue workers have recovered 1,826 bodies so far and expect that number to climb as digging continues. Understand? The accident and the result, no way connected. When you don't know how to come back to your center, the accident happening inside you, the result of that accident will no way be connected. You will be just creating chaos. See your life is nothing but chaos. Sometimes I sincerely feel the whole world is running based on madness. Please understand, I am not talking philosophy. I very sincerely feel, what for it is happening? We are not awakened to the truth of your existence and the truth of existence of the world and the truth of connection between your existence and the existence of the world. You are not awakened to these three truths. What for you exist, what for this cosmos exists, and what is the connection between your existence and the cosmos existence. Please understand. If you understand these three things, suddenly you will be aligned and cosmos will express its truth through you. Cosmos will live through you till you are awakened to these three truths. Whatever you may be doing is nothing but grabbing in the darkness. Just moving in the darkness. Don't get depressed. Don't think, oh, that is not for me. I think it is not for me. This Swami is putting big ideals. No. It is for you now. That is what I call abhyasa. Bring yourself back again and again. I went through what you are going through. So I know I am not just encouraging you. Please understand. I am telling you the truth. In the village, when you walk through the forest, if you ask some villager how many kilometers to cross the forest, always all the villagers will tell, no, you almost crossed, you almost crossed. The trekking in the Grand Canyon. You are almost there, you are almost there. No, I am not talking in that language, understand? Understand, I am telling you the truth. I am not encouraging you. I am not just telling you some idea to encourage you. No, I am telling you the truth. I went through the same situation which you are going through. Paramahamsa means a man who has went through all possible situations. Only then he can teach. I went through everything. So I can tell you, understand, the abhyasa is a basic need and simple need and nothing else is required. You don't even have to think how long I should do abhyasa. Relax from all those ideas. Do abhyasa now. You will see you are in the truth now. You are in the truth now. And if you slip, if you feel you have slipped, then again come back to the abhyasa. Be in the truth now. The more time you come back to the truth, your negative abhyasa loses its power. Your negative biomemory loses its power. You are awakened. Your strong positive abhyasa explodes inside you and you start residing in that same state. You start living in that experience. That is what I call Jivan Mukti. That is what I call Jivan Mukti. What happened to me when I was 12 is enlightenment. I needed little positive abhyasa to remove the negative abhyasa. People ask me, you are an incarnation, how can negative abhyasa happen? Please understand, out of pure gold you can't make jewels. So you need to add little copper, make jewel, and you should again put it in the acid and take away that copper and make it as a pure gold again. Now you have a jewelry which is pure gold. Same way, out of pure consciousness you can't create a body. So little negative abhyasa means tamas and rajas. Out of pure sattva you can't create body. So little tamas and rajas is added and body is created. After the body is created, then again start burning, put in the acid, do tapas, burn it. Burn that negative abhyasa. Now you have a body which is pure consciousness. Like jewel which is pure 24 karat gold. Same way you have a body which is pure consciousness. Abhyasa is a basic thing. Try again and again and again. Come back. After some time you will see, you will forget the moments when you are not in abhyasa. You will remember only the moments when you are in abhyasa. The big enemy for abhyasa is guilt, self-condemnation. Don't allow that. If you miss, if you slip 3-4 times, you will say, no, how can I am slipping again and again. Instead of using the word I am slipping again and again, remember, I will unclutch again and again. I will stand again and again. The same time it takes, many times I have seen. Same energy it takes to feel guilty, repent, how much time and energy you take, that same time only you need to unclutch and come back to the higher state. Because you have the negative abhyasa, you create guilt. Now break. come back to that higher state instead of creating guilt. Let it become positive abhyasa. Let you be centered on positive abhyasa. Instead of creating guilt, you will create enlightenment. What do you want to do in the life? Whether guilt or enlightenment. If you waste your energy by saying, I am slipping, I am slipping, I am slipping, you will create guilt. If you bring yourself back again and again to the center, you will create enlightenment. So, I bless you all. Let you all achieve and radiate this great truth, abhyasa, in your life and live enlightenment. Let you all achieve and radiate the eternal bliss, Nityananda.